I want to bring in now Congressman Krishnamoorthi. He is a member of the House Intelligence Committee. Good evening, Congressman.
Hey, good evening, Don.
So the president called Chairman Adam Schiff a political hack and said that expanding the scope of the House investigation was, this is a quote, presidential harassment. It sounds like you're headed for a big battle with the president.
Well, first of all, thanks for having me on. I was dismayed to hear that description of Chairman Schiff, who's held in high regard by most of his colleagues in Congress. I think that type of rhetoric is beneath the president. Later on in that same speech, he basically equated an investigation to war and made threats that if we continued with our constitutionally prescribed duty of oversight, that he would not be cooperating with us and trying to deliver on the pocketbook priorities of the American people. I don't think anybody's cowed by those threats, and we're going to continue our oversight. You know,
Congressman Schiff said that the committee will look into the president's family as well as his finances, his business or his businesses. Does your committee believe that the Russia investigation will soon be in the rearview mirror, potentially finding no wrongdoing on the part of the president, or no smoking gun at least?
No, not necessarily, but what we do know, based on statements by the Department of Justice and people like William Barr, who's the president's nominee for Attorney General, is that once the Mueller investigation is completed, they may not turn over the report to the American people for their scrutiny. And so we have to do everything in our power to explore the various issues involved with the Russia affair and linkages with the Trump campaign organization and Donald Trump himself and his family, and then produce a report for the American people. In addition, there are certain lines of inquiry that Special Counsel Mueller may not be pursuing, such as money laundering and other issues, and we intend to pursue those too.
Okay, got you there. So if nothing comes out of that, you intend to go back and do things on your own, correct?
Well, we are currently investigating, you could almost say in parallel. And so
okay.
We're not waiting for anyone else to do their thing.
I get you. Then what's the top priority?
Well, there are a few priorities here, but number one, what did Russia do in 2016? How do we prevent them from doing it again in terms of interfering in our democracy? Two, whether there were any linkages or coordination between the Trump organization and campaign and the Russians. And then three, who is trying to compromise current members of the Trump family or the president himself, and how do we prevent that from happening, and whether anybody's trying to obstruct justice in our seeking answers to all these questions.
Yeah. Today, your committee, Congressman, did vote to send all the transcripts related to the Russia investigation to the special counsel. Tell me what you're hoping to accomplish by that.
A couple things. One, we have to make sure that Special Counsel Mueller has access to all the information that's in our possession as he pursues his inquiries. And then two, we know that already two witnesses, Mr. Stone and Mr. Cohen, have lied to the House Intelligence Committee. And Mr. Mueller may be interested in knowing who else has potentially committed perjury as well. Certainly we would want to know that too.
Okay. Michael Cohen, let's talk about him. His testimony to the committee is now delayed until the 28th. Congressman Schiff said that it was in the interest of the investigation. Do you have any clarity on that?
I can't comment on specifics with regard to that particular issue, except that Chairman Schiff has been pursuing this investigation and leading this investigation methodically and with a great deal of integrity. And so I think that delaying this particular deposition or this interview is keeping in line with those purposes. That being said, I'm almost 100% sure it's going to happen before Mr. Cohen reports to prison.
Congressman Krishnamoorthi, thank you so much. I appreciate